Good evening, everybody. On behalf of Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry, it gives us immense pleasure to welcome you all. The Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry takes a proactive approach in emphasizing and promoting employee wellness. Recognizing that a healthy workplace is crucial for overall business success, the Chamber has implemented various initiatives to celebrate and prioritize employee wellness.
Good evening. The leader having set the tone, we are now the one down. We should be batting like Virat Kohli after the opening batsman Ratna Sinha has scored a century for us. I would first invite Dr. Pande amidst us. If you can come up on the stage, Dr. Pande is a cardiologist from Medica and he represents the medical fraternity. It's a pleasure meeting you. Yesterday virtually and today physically. So in our times there used to be docs who used to, hey Joe, go. So today's doctors give a lot of importance that okay, I think I should look into you deeper. So in reality, when we talk about wellness, Dr. Pande, what in your opinion, how many cases really come? Do you feel that this is a topic or a theme Bengal Chamber of Commerce need to discuss? And from your wide experience as a cardio, because people, if they get stressed, I have heard their pulse rate goes up. It is not my domain, I'm an engineer. I was never a doctor, so I'll rely on your wise counsel. Do you really feel medically how significant wellness is?
Thank you. So, thank you very much. At the outset, I'd like to thank Bengal Chamber of Commerce for inviting me, giving me this opportunity to interact with people who are out of my domain. So, employees' well-being, is it important? I'll just give you a simple example. So, there was a case study in Harvard Business School, a company known as Johnson & Johnson. Why I know about Johnson & Johnson? Because they produce a lot of medical equipment. I heard about, Tata, other companies. So, Johnson & Johnson is a very big house who produce a lot of medical equipment, lot of medicines, etc., etc. I'll give you an example of why employees' health, employees' well-being is important. Now, as the previous speaker Ratna, she discussed about different methods of how you can keep your employee. If I'm not wrong, there are some employee as well as employers are also there in this forum. So it requires investment. Fine. So you need to invest some amount of money so that your employees are actually getting well-being. So they thought why we should invest in employees well-being. They tried to find it out. They found after they initiated the program, the smoking rate among their US establishment gone down by 2/3. So 2/3 people left smoking. So the hypertensive incidents, people who were hypertensive, the numbers also went down by 50%. They thought, yes, this is doing something for their employee. But what about the profit of the organization? Is it reflected? I'll give you the data. It is all available in the internet. You can go and check. From 2002 to 2008, after implementation of all these things, there was $250 million which was not required because of medical, expenditure. $250 million. How important it is to keep your employees, well-being at a proper place. So if your employees are not at good place, there are some direct and indirect effects. Direct effects, yes. If you carry your business, your work stress to your home, first thing which will be hampered is your sleep. Sleep will be hampered. Next thing which is very closely related to your sleep is your blood pressure. The blood pressure goes up. And it is very closely followed by depression. Depression, anxiety, it is not only a mental state, it is a disease. You should tackle it separately. And fourth thing, which is very directly related, is the higher chances of substance abuse. It can be smoking, it can be alcohol, it can be something else. So these are the things which are actually directly related with the stress of workplace. And there are some indirect relation as well. Say for example, if you do not take care of this thing at primary time, then what will happen? There will be effect on the interpersonal relationship. And that in turn will give rise to a very complex sort of thing in the body of the individual, which we doctors also not fully aware of. So we call it metabolic derangement. There is tremendous kind of metabolic derangement in the body, and it is not fully understood scientifically, but we can see the results. We all know in COVID era, India was among the one of the country which tackled it very nicely, to be very honest, considering the lack of infrastructure and all. Still, if you see the number of young people who died, or the number of young people who suffered comorbidity, was far, far higher than the rest of the world. And what this young community indicate, they are actually working class people. So probably the metabolic derangement, the work-related, stress-related derangement resulted in something in their body which resulted in reduction of their immunity, their tackling power to combat the disease as well as to come out of it. So there is direct as well as indirect relation, and if it is not taken care of, at the end of the day, the organization is going to be affected.
Thank you so much for a very direct answer to a question that medically it's significant. As Dr. Pande had said, that your blood pressure, your vital parameters will go for a toss. Immediately what will go is your sleep. People can't sleep up to 2 a.m. in the night, and they have, they feel tired the next day, and so many times we have seen, and I'm particularly bothered about people who are between 23 to... I take the onus onto Dr. Pande, saying that in medical terms and in very brutal, like you have been brutally honest, like Shrutoba madam will be, a doctor will know that during this COVID, what are the things, that one could turn to spirituality. Like Monodeep mentioned, one could turn to music, one could turn to dharma, to give peace at night. There are 59 channels, and today we'll have one speaker later coming today. There are so many layers of wellness, not only money and health. What would be your medical advice for people?
So first of all, when I come in this kind of forum, this is really out of my domain. I meet people like you who work 5 days a week, and I really envy that. And I have my friends who are now settled to other countries like United Kingdom. Few of my friends called me up months back or something like that. So they also work 5 days a week. There is a system called NHS, National Health Scheme, sort of government scheme by which more than 95% of patients of United Kingdom are actually getting treated. So private players only pay 5% of their healthcare needs. It is 95% NHS. So they ran a pilot project among the consultants. So divided into 2 groups. One group working 5 days a week, another group working 4 days a week. And they found very surprising fact, the people who are working for 4 days, their performance actually were better. And now they have come up with an option. Anybody, if they want to work for 4 days a week, they will allow that. Unfortunately, I don't see that to happen with me or any of the medical fraternity of our country in recent future. Now coming back, how you can keep yourself well. Very simple, note will be, don't take your work stress to your home. This is a very simple solution, and that is probably the only solution. Sometimes I also give another sort of totka, totka. I ask them to keep a worry time. Worry time, there are always something, very small things which is bothering you, which is not actually happening as you wanted it to be happened. Very minor deviation from the expected things and expected way out. And there might be, larger problems as well. It's not that everything is mild or minor. But the problem is your performance comes down if you think too much about those things, the minor or major deviation. So if you can allot 5 minutes of your time, definitely not at night or not at your home, because that can actually, derange your sleep and it can be dragged. So while you are working, keep 5 minutes as worry time, think about it. What are the problems? And believe me, for every problem, there are solutions. If you don't think about the problem properly, you will not come to the solutions. So keep 5 minutes for your worries. You think about it, take a pen, take a pencil, even if you don't want to take, just think about what are the problem today you are having. 1, 2, 3, and how they can either go away, they can in future exacerbate. Now if you think about it, then next step, you'll think about the solution, and if you think about the solution, then these are my problems, and these are the solution we are having, and that's how I'm going to tackle that. And that makes everything very, very easy. There's very simple totka you can take away from this.
As always, doctors speak less, and they mean a lot of reason, unlike me, who speak a lot. But I really take your totka or your, the quick fix, as I understand. Worry time, I wish we could go back to the agrarian times, pre-Gandhian times, when we used to have, just a farm, a barn. The Mughal emperors, the wives used to have a gusa ghar. Okay, gosha koreche, rag hoye geche. Okay, so worry time. So like Dr. Pande says that keep a little bit of me time. But again, today people are all the time their me time with their mobile time. So I really, but I take your guidance that don't try bring in work from home. Earlier that used to be a badge of honor. I had seen my father who used to work in Statistical Institute bring loads of files, and that used to be, "Are Baba onek kaj ache." But today times have changed. Whether you like it or not, there's a mobile which will invade your privacy, even during your most private moments. So thank you so much, doctor, for your quick fix and the long fix.